People, Deluded, quick video. Now, I don't know how true these rumours are, but I saw on Twitter that allegedly Arsenal are not looking at they're not looking at a centre half unless we can move on Callum Chambers and Mustafi. Now, you don't know me, I'm not one to get caught up in rumours and stuff like that. And I don't, on one hand, I don't think it's true in it, because I swear we was looking for another centre half last year with soccer artists still signed. So I don't know how true, but when I think about the sustaining model that Arsenal appear to be going with, when I think about the task at hand for Unai Emery and everybody involved in moving players on, it does make sense. And I say that because, yes, it's easy for me and you lot to go through the squad people and say who we'd keep, sell, or whatever in it. But it's more complicated than that. Arsenal are in a unique position in that I'm not going to name individuals, but you've seen the midfielders and you've seen the defensive players that haven't been up to scratch and have been linked with moves away. What makes it difficult is a lot of these players are on the wrong side of 30 and they're on extremely high wages. We know we're not going to get much money for them, but they're going to need decent wages to go and move to other clubs. Or if the other clubs don't want to match their wages, we're going to have to subsidise some of that. Now, some of you might look at 300k and say, well, paying 150 a week, subsidising, for example, is better than paying 300, and it's cool. And that is true. So I agree with that, but it's still a difficult position because we're going to get peanuts for these players. If I look at someone like Mustafi, for example, without talking about his performance, I've said it before, the form he's been in, if I'm another club, I'm only trying to get him on loan with an option to buy. Maybe I'm not even trying to pay all of his wages. So there's going to be a lot of difficulty here, people, with moving players on. I think Callum Chambers can be used in the squad. I think he's shown he can play in midfield, play at centre-half. And to be fair, he's been pretty poor at fullback when he has played for Arsenal, but he can't do any worse than Carl Jenkinson, for example. But he runs the risk of being here a squad player, jack of all trades, master of none. He signed a new deal in pre-season and he was bigged up by Unai Emery and then went out on loan. Whatever conversation they had there remains to be seen. But if I'm Callum Chambers, I've had a good season, had a decent year at Middlesbrough, had a decent season last year at Arsenal, but am I realistically going to play game in, game out, or have a chance to compete for that? I'm not too sure. And at 24, he needs to probably find somewhere where he can settle at a team that believes in him, at a team where he has chances for that. I think the form he's been in, we rejected, 18, 20 million from Palace last summer. The form he's been in, I think we can get 20 million for him, man. I don't think that's much. I wouldn't pay 20 million for Callum Chambers, admittedly, but I think he can command 20 or nearabouts that. Mustafi's a difficulty. So it's going to be tough, people. So to not sign a centre-half is going to be crazy, man, because you hear the talk of the sporting director with Overmars and the guy from Marseille and various other targets. And it makes me feel, how much due diligence, how much forward planning can you make or have made without a sporting director? Now, I've told you lot before, the majority of transfers that we're going to see in the summer were all agreed in September, October, November, and you get the point, people. I think we've agreed moves that we'll find, but that's the bulk of your business has to be done early. Then, in an ideal scenario, you listen to the grapevine, you see what developments happen in the summer, because as you lot know, obviously people can say what they want about Mesut Ozil, but forgive me if I'm wrong, but nobody knew he was available until the last couple of days of the window and then the last day. So ideally, if you could do your business early, stay on the grapevine with a couple of these. I don't want to speculate and put any Arsenal fans through it, but you hear Lyon might do a fire sale. We ain't got money for that. But Ajax, for example, might sell some players. You do the bulk of your business early and then you listen to what happens. There might be star players at various other teams that drag their feet all summer and then say, I want to leave. So in an ideal scenario, the moves would be agreed, the incomings would be agreed, and we'd get a move on with departures, because we need to be streamlined this summer. I think I've got a separate vid somewhere about it. It needs to happen like clockwork, people. And obviously, we need to, if we do need to sell before we can buy, we need to get, first and foremost, we need to have agreed moves for players to come in, and we need to get players out. There can be no time for messing around in the summer, people. And I do think we will make a meal of it because of the task at hand, because a lot of it could have been done this summer. I know a lot of people want about 14 players to leave the side. That's not really sensible. Whatever your feelings on Aaron Ramsey, Mkhitaryan and Ozil, if the side's not going to sign a centre-half without selling players, what makes you feel they're going to replace the skill set of Ozil, Mkhitaryan and Aaron Ramsey, in that they're creative players, goal scorers, goal creators? What makes you think they're going to pay money to sign these sort of players there, people? And as we know, football is all about money nowadays, and as we know ourselves, the creative midfielders, or if not that, the creative players that are charged with being the creative spark in your team, they cost a pretty penny. Now, are we going to sell these players and sign a creative player which is seen as the icing on top of the cake without sorting out the foundations or any other role? I'm not too sure that would be the wisest, and I'm sure you would agree with me. We need to really, it needs to be a streamlined season, people, pre-season. Players need to come in, players need to get out in very quick succession. Unai Emery needs the most time possible with the new bunch of players, or but collectively with the new additions and the players that are here that he deems he can move forward with. He needs as much time as possible to implement added tactics, greater understanding with the tactics, and just implement a way of playing so they're all on the same page, to be fair. Because this season, he's done good. There's been highs, there's been lows for all of us. But next season, the Wolves are going to be out. People are not going to be saying, Emery, this and that. He's not his players, etc. The Wolves are going to be out. And the expectations, not that we can have much as us fans, but they're gonna be up. So it is a bitter pill to swallow for me anyways, to hear allegedly, based on reports, we're not going to sign a centre-half until we can move on Mustafi, possibly Callum Chambers as well. Because as you lot know, I've been very vocal. For me, that's the first signing I'm making if I'm Arsenal boss. Obviously, it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but that's genuinely, people, the first thing I'm doing is sitting down, what top centre-halves or good centre-halves or affordable, competent centre-halves can I get and add to this club? I'm going to do that. Then I'm looking at a midfielder, in my humble opinion, whether that's someone combative and tigerish like Torreira, a hybrid of someone like Torreira and Santi, or either of these two in it. Bringing two separate ones. So someone that's tigerish, someone that can ball play, because I think we're lacking that. Clearly, we need a winger. We're very predictable. Everybody knows if Kohler's not at it, you've won the game. He's our winger. Need a winger. A club like Arsenal should have wingers. Maybe that will bring better out of Aubameyang and Lacazette as well, possibly. And we're just missing a top winger. 10 goals, 10 assists in all comps, near enough, people, sort of thing. We need that. Also, I feel we need a left-back as well, in my opinion, because Monreal were playing a dangerous game with his age. Cole already divides opinion. Right back, maybe there's a case to be said about a backup fullback. How much our money can stretch, as you lot know, who knows, people. But to hear we're not going to sign a centre-half without selling them players, bitter pill to swallow. Of course, it's just speculation and them thing there, people, so you can't read too much into it. But it does sound very realistic, and for some reason I believe it. But in regards to that, I'm going to keep it moving, people. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. So, people, deluded, I'm out.